can't even tell you how good it feels. It feels so good. I came here before I went to Australia to start filming, and coming here now, it feels like coming home. It's such a relaxing, warm feeling, and you feel his spirit here. So it all comes full circle, and it's such a beautiful. I didn't know what to expect when I was sitting down in the theater, so I know that I was hit by seeing Elvis's story in context within the span of a film. That's a really hard thing to do. Baz has done such a beautiful job with that. Being able to tell the truthful story within the context of a film, that's such a spectacle. Baz created this to be seen on the big screen. The sound, the visuals. I mean, it's really extraordinary. So, and Elvis was one, he was larger than life, but then he was so human. And so I think you get both of those aspects in the film. And so you get the larger than life is the stuff that you want to see on a big screen. And then the humanity is that side that we haven't gotten to see a lot of. And so I'm really grateful that we got to explore that in this.
When we first heard that we were going to end up here, there was like, well, now that's perfect. And I thought for a moment, is that legal? I mean, I view Graceland as being, some combination of the White House, the holy city of Bethlehem, and Mount Vernon, where George Washington was born. It is every now and again something happens in a movie career or on a movie where you're just in a place where you can't quite fathom that this is where it happened, and we've recreated it somewhere else, but now we're come back to actually inhabit the three-dimensional space. And I just feel like the luckiest guy in the world, man. Actually, it was shaping the narrative for a very, very mysterious guy. He is literally the two faces of Janus. He was without a doubt, a cheap carny who would try to take everybody for a quarter, as in 25 cents, or $250,000. Whatever he could get out of somebody, including some members of the Presley estate. But outside of that, as Priscilla and Jerry Schilling themselves have told me, he was one of the most delightful men they've ever met. He brightened up a room. He always took care of it. He's very respectful to everybody. And particularly in those early years, when he realized that this entertainer, this artist, that was standing behind him on stage, making this audience respond in a way that he had never seen an audience respond. I think he was without a doubt a genius for the way he took Elvis and made him exclusive, one of a kind, and with staying power that lasted much longer than some of the contemporaries in the 1950s. And I think that was the current.
I worked out today that it's actually 5 years since I first came here to Memphis to start researching on this film. And Angie, who works in archives here, she set me up a little office in the archive area. And we started there. I started researching actually Sam Bromell, who was researching and writing with me. We lived it. I know Memphis so well. Since I've come back, a few of the night spots have closed, and there are others I'm sure have popped up. But it's special, and to think that the journey of this film that we made in Australia has brought everyone back together again, and the whole family is here in this one moment. That just doesn't happen. Like there's some other force greater than just a movie going on, I feel. I always said if I can't find someone to play Elvis, I won't make the movie, and I would kind of secretly think, I might not have to do this. I'm off the hook, And but the journey with Austin was really I really feel like he found me. He found the role. It's now well documented that he makes this tape. He shares this journey that Elvis had, losing his mother early. He makes the tape. I see the tape. It's well documented. It's true that Denzel Washington rings me, who I don't know, and says, "You're about to meet the hardest working actor I've ever met." It's true that when Austin comes in, he's already way down the road. And interestingly enough, I realized at that moment I'm going to have to get a voice impersonator to do the young Elvis, because we can't use that footage, can't use that song, music, because it's recorded in the wrong way for a film. And so I said to us, do you think you could sing it? And the screen test I just put out, where people are going, like, is that really him singing? That's him singing. Somebody just told me that when she first saw the movie, she did not realize. She thought it was Elvis. She didn't realize. I mean, how does it get better than that? It does not get better than that.
It feels so powerful. It feels so monumental, evolutionary. Baz has an amazing way of allowing everyone to feel like they're a part of this world that is so glamorous and sexy and fun, and most importantly, just powerful. So it's very inspiring. I'm happy to be here. It's important to highlight where this all started from, with the movement and the birth of rock and roll, with not only Little Richard, but Sister Rosetta Tharpe, B.B. King. It's important to pay tribute and pay homage to the creators.
It's unreal. I've never been here before, and I feel the overwhelming amount of love coming from Memphis. And I'm just excited to kind of hang out and, share the movie with Memphis. It's cool. BB was just like such a trailblazer, when you think about what he's gone through and the influences that he pulled from. I think it was such a big inspiration for who Elvis was and the sound he was seeking after. And I think also showing the brotherhood and the camaraderie between these two icons in different ways. Rock and roll, rhythm and blues, they kind of connect in some way. So you have to include BB until you can tell Elvis' story as well.
It feels like we're on a holy site being here at Graceland itself. I've actually never been to Graceland, but I grew up super Pentecostal and never heard any music except for Elvis sneak through, because Elvis had gospel records. So for me, it's like hearing the music and being in the place where your whole life was formed musically. So a lot of weight being here right now, for sure, no doubt about it. I mean, Memphis created so much of the fabric of American music. I mean, it all kind of came together right here in this boiling point. So to see it, come back to the place where it all started is pretty magical,
It's funny, when I got here, I kind of felt like I'd already been here, even though I hadn't. So it feels really grounding. It feels like, it might sound corny, but we're exactly where we're supposed to be. They can expect to feel very satisfied. This is one of the best films I've seen in a very, very long time, and I think it's brilliant.
This is massive. I think it's massive to come here where the story started, where the story lived, where the story played out, I think it's important for the region, especially with all of this energy coming to the area, bringing Hollywood, if you will, Hollywood to the hills, as I would say, man. So no, I think it's awesome. I think it's amazing that there's an interest to come to the cradle of this story, to come to where this story was born. I think it's important, and it's amazing. Oh my God, man! Brilliance is contagious, man. And what you realize too, man, especially with Baz, man. What I love about working with Baz is that he really embodied what Elvis was about. This whole TCB concept, take care of business. That's exactly what Baz did, man. But with every step, no cutting corners. Everything is done to epic proportions. I'm talking every scene was shot to epic proportion. Every note of this music was done to epic proportion, man. So there are no corners ever cut, man. So, the work with Baz was amazing, because that's exactly what he did. It's TCB, take care of business. As far as Austin goes, man, it was crazy to get to know Austin and to really watch him, how seriously he took the role, how committed he was to the role, how purposeful he was. And then at the same time, how he got stuck in it because of COVID. He kind of got locked into this Elvis character for a long time, bro. But it was good because he got a chance to let it soak in, if you will. Elvis really got to soak into his spirit, man. So to watch him be transcendent in this role is amazing. I'm excited about what this is going to do for his career, too.
It's a great feeling. We're all together. We've all enjoyed this amazing film together. We're really happy about the film. And we're looking forward, actually, to sharing it now with America. First of all, I know, Baz is an amazing director and also writer. I've always liked his film. They're a little bit, they're Baz Luhrmann films. I mean, he has his own take on things, on life, in his films. And I was a little nervous at first because he kind of does his own thing, but the product has been truly worth the weight in gold. It's an amazing film.
Well, I think for his legacy, it's as important as the well-known 68 comeback special. It was 68 years ago next month that Elvis started his career. And I think Baz Luhrmann and Tom and us, they have done the next comeback for his legacy. So it's really exciting. It's nice to be a part of it and have somebody play your life. It's kind of cool.
Well, I'm nervous but excited about what the hometown crowd are going to think about the film, obviously. So fingers crossed that they enjoy it. And I'm a little nervous about going back to Graceland tonight for a barbecue because I'll be coming face to face with something that we created in Australia. And we spent so much time here before the pandemic, and we built Graceland, and it was wrapped under plastic while we were shut down and then emerged. And so it'll be interesting to see how I feel about what we did and whether I'm, just as confident and cocky as I am right now after I see it again. We had two watershed moments, I think, in the costume design. Baz is always very clear about how he wants to see things. He's a very visual director, and it's always about character and being story-led. So in terms of, say, recreating historical costumes, it became really apparent early on that we couldn't just imitate, we had to interpret, and there had to be a nexus between Elvis and Austin's performance, similarly with Olivia and all the other characters in the movie. And then we realised too that we had to possibly recombine elements from Elvis's past in order to connect a contemporary audience to his looks. Like in the pink suit, all elements from Elvis's actual life, but all recombined. Baz wanted to have this visceral sexiness that a contemporary audience would be able to connect to. So yeah, they were the two things that kind of stand out for me in terms of the design process.